Hi folks, Mr. Long here. This is the second of about 4 screencasts regarding mastery tests on derivatives. So the first set of tests was all about the power rule. The next one, screencast number 2, is about the product rule and quotient rule, both in fairly simple forms. Okay, so we're going to deal with the product rule right now. In terms of what is the product rule, well, if you have a function that's a multiplied by b, a and b are factors, then the derivative is right there, a prime b plus ab prime. Okay, so we've got the derivative that we're going to try and calculate right now is this one. So 3 minus 4x to the 5th multiplied by 2x plus 6x cubed. Okay, those are the derivatives that that's the derivative we're trying to figure out. So we have a product there, and we're going to get the slope, an equation that describes the slope of the tangent, and that is the derivative. Okay, so let's go through this. So initially, we have that, sorry, I'm just going to get a different color there. So there is our first part of the derivative, so then we get a prime using the power rule. So the derivative of 3 is 0. The derivative of negative 4x to the 5th would be negative 20x to the 4th. There's the b part, the second factor, and it is 2x plus 6x cubed. So the derivative of that, 2x becomes 2. 6x cubed becomes 3 times 6, 18x squared. Okay, and oops, that should say ab prime. So we have a prime b multiplied by ab prime. Okay, and we're going to go through that right now. So what I kind of like to do here is this. I do a times b prime, or a, sorry, whoops, no, that was not right. A prime b, which is that, and then I have a b prime, which is that. Okay, so those arrows are pointing towards the two things that are being multiplied together. Okay, so a prime b. Okay, so a prime, we figured out already, is negative 20x to the 4th. That's that. And then I have to multiply negative 20x to the 4th, which is a prime, and I have to multiply that by b. Okay, following that, now I've got a, which is this right here, that's a, and then I multiply that by b prime, right there. Okay, so multiply a by b prime. And we already have those figured out. Okay, now it's just a matter of expanding. The first one is a grade 9 expansion, right, where I'm multiplying the first term. It's a monomial, a single term, by a binomial. So negative 20x to the 4th times 2x to the 1, negative 40x to the 5th. And then the second one is going to be that 20x, negative 20x to the 4th, multiplied by 6x cubed. Okay, and so the 6 times the negative 20 is negative 120. And I add the exponents, x to the 4th times x cubed. And I have my result of negative 120x to the 7th. Okay, the second set of brackets is the distributive law. So I've got a double distributive law, which is like a binomial times a binomial. Some of you may have learned it as FOIL. It really doesn't matter how you learned it as long as you know how to do it. So it's this 3 right here multiplied by the 2 to get 6. Then it's the 3 multiplied by the 18x squared to get 54x squared. Then I move to the top here, and I have 4x to the 5th multiplied by 2, which gives me negative 8x. And finally, the 4x to the 5th here multiplied by the last term, which is 18x squared, which is 72x to the 7th. I'm not even going to go through the next part, but I simply collect like terms and put them in order of decreasing power or decreasing degree, and that's the final answer for the derivative, okay, using the product rule. So how will you use this? I think I repeat myself a little too much, but what I would do is now try to go back, copy down the original question, copy down the final answer, copy down the general product rule, or look on your formula sheet and go through and do it. Okay, and see if you can do it. And then there are other ones that you can practice. Okay, so let's move on now to the simple quotient rule. Okay, so here is our formula for a simple quotient rule. Right there. So we have y is top over bottom, right? So top of the fraction, the bottom of the fraction. Both of them need to have, well, they don't need to, but the bottom definitely has to have a variable in it. And then it's top prime bottom minus top bottom prime all over the bottom squared. So you can see it looks very much like the product rule, except there's a minus sign instead of a plus sign, and then you divide by the bottom squared. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Again, same thing as last time in terms of the product rule. So I write down what the top is, then do the top prime, then the bottom, followed by the bottom prime. And again, the way that I would do this is it's top prime bottom, like so, and then top bottom prime. Okay, so again, you're multiplying across that diagonal. I'm not going to tell you what the derivatives of the top and the bottom are, because that's fairly simple stuff. It's really about the application now. So top prime bottom is our first one that we need to do. Okay, I'll just scroll down so you can see the formula. So I need to do top prime bottom first. So the top prime is -4 multiplied by the bottom, x squared plus 6. Next, I do the bottom, which is, the top prime bottom minus top bottom prime, So there's the top right there, 1 minus 4x, and I multiply that by the bottom prime, which is 2x. After this, we expand out. So -4 multiplied by x squared is -4x squared. -4 multiplied by that positive 6 is -24. We have that. On to the other side of the minus sign here. Now, here's a part that that we probably should chat about. And I think to do this, what we should do is take a look at what happens when I have a negative here, followed by a set of brackets, okay, a binomial. So 1 minus 4x, two terms inside here. So what I really want to do, what the negative does, if I'm multiplying the negative, all it does is change the signs. So this positive one becomes negative, and that becomes a positive. And then we can consider this as being a positive. Okay, folks? So that's the process there. So just switch the signs inside your first factor. Okay, and only your first factor. It doesn't change both. It just changes the first factor. Okay, so then we can multiply through now. So I now would have -1 multiplied by the 2x, which is -2x. And then I have positive 4x times 2x, which gives us 8x squared. And now again, collect like terms. The only like terms I see there are the x squared, the -4x squared, and positive 8x squared. So it gives us that. Then I'm left with -2x minus 24. And then the bottom squared, of course. Now, one of the things that I did here, do you have to do it? No, but I think it's a good idea. If you've got a common factor, take the common factor out of the top, and then you can do a quick check to see, is that factorable? And I'm pretty sure 2 times -12 is -24. So are there two numbers that multiply to -24 and add to -1? I don't think that's possible, because a product is even. Okay, you're never going to get an even product, okay, with an odd sum. Okay, even product with an odd sum. Okay, so, that's not necessarily true. Multiplies to 24. There aren't two numbers that are one apart that can multiply to 24. Actually, no, you won't get that. With an even product, you won't get an odd sum. Okay, so I'm going to second guess myself there. Okay, this is here I am getting stuck on sort of grade 7 number sense. Okay, so the product is negative 24. The sum is negative 1. Okay, so the closest numbers you get to a square, perfect square for 24 is 6 and 4. There's no way that adds to 1. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. All right, so that is the quotient rule. Again, go back to the start, go through it, and take your time and then try and do it yourself. All right, good luck.